Hello friends. In 2019, I went for a monsoon bike ride through Karnataka's Western Ghats. This video is the 10th part of that tour. I started from Ooty in Tamil Nadu and went up to Mumbai in Maharashtra. The route I took was mainly through the Western Ghats of Karnataka and then the Konkan coastal region of Maharashtra. During this 3 weeks solo motorcycle tour, I went to a lot of different places along the Karnataka's Western Ghats, mainly like historical places, religious places, pilgrimage centers, a lot of waterfalls, viewpoints, and so on. What you're seeing now are examples of the places I visited, the rides I did till now, and so a short glimpse of the previous videos. I started towards the end of June of 2019 when the rains actually started in Kerala. The first place I visited was Madikeri. I stayed there for a couple of days. I went to a lot of historical places, waterfalls, viewpoints. From there I went to Sakleshpura, then to Dharamsthala, then to Karkala, through Kudramukh National Park, from there to Sringeri. And so these are the places I visited till now. By around the 10th day or after like 10 days, I reached up to Shimoga. If you were to see the direct road riding distance from Ooty to Shimoga, it is only 500 kilometers. But then I was not following the strict direct path. I was really taking a roundabout route, going to a lot of different places and to places where not many people go to. I was also kind of avoiding the main highways, the main roads, and always tried to go through interior routes. Today's video is about my ride from Shimoga to Jog Falls, which is like about 100 kilometers. And from Jog Falls, after seeing Jog Falls, I am going to Hampi or going towards Hampi. Now I came to Shimoga, that is away from the Western Ghats, because for the last 2 or 3 days I was facing some problems with my bike. There was starting trouble and I could not repair it myself or get it done by somebody in the interior places because they didn't know what to be done or what was to be done on an Enfield Bullet. A lot of people do not even touch the Enfield Bullets in these interior roads. In fact, that is one of the disadvantages of taking your Enfield Bullet or some high-end bikes when going through these interior routes. Anyway, Shimoga is a much more larger town in Karnataka and I was able to get the bike repaired. It was some problem with the battery. Shimoga is also on the plateau area. It is not on the Western Ghat region. But now the direction I am taking is towards the west, towards the Western Ghats. When I started from the town area of Shimoga, it was not raining. But as soon as I was nearing the Western Ghats, it started raining incessantly. This day, it was completely drenched. I was completely drenched. The rain was not stopping. If it was stopping, it was only for like 5 or 10 minutes. On the other hand, the best time to visit Jog Falls is during the rainy season. In fact, you should come to Jog Falls when it is actually raining, or rather immediately after the rains. So this is the best time to reach Jog Falls, that is the monsoon time. But I think I was kind of early because the monsoon period, the rains started in Karnataka only towards the end of June. And in 2019, the rains was like very heavy rain, but only during the July period. In fact, at many places in Kerala, it got flooded and there was heavy rain in 2019. But I was going to Jog Falls, or this day was only towards the end of June, and it had not rained enough to make the Jog Falls at its mightiest. So if you're visiting Jog Falls, try to find an appropriate time. Go there only after the rains and only after sufficient amount of rain has fallen in the catchment area. The main river feeding Jog Falls is the Sharavati River, or Jog Falls is on the Sharavati River, and it is in fact the second largest waterfall in India. The largest waterfall in India is the Noha Kali Cave waterfall, which is in Meghalaya. And I think that waterfall, the drop is about 335 meters or about 1100 feet. Jog Falls is lesser than that. It has a drop of about 250 meters or so, about 830 feet. While I was nearing Hosagunda, I saw this signboard. It is about the historic or the ancient Sri Uma Maheshwari temple. This is still Shimoga district and in Sagar Taluk. Now Karnataka is blessed with a lot of historic and ancient temples, some of them in complete ruins, but some others are being renovated like this. Now this is a 11th century temple. I think the renovation is done by private parties conducted by a trust formed in the name of the temple and may not be directly by the government or even by the Archaeological Survey of India. I didn't plan to come here. I never knew such a place existed before I started the ride. In fact, one of the things I do in this ride is to find out such kind of places while I am riding, like through signboards or from people on the road, or just by searching Google Maps while I'm riding, like finding out historical places or places of interest quite near to the roads which I'm taking. Now in this case, I came here almost by accident. I saw the signboard. I just want to find out what it is. And I didn't stay there for long. One reason was that it was raining heavily and I was not in the mood for exploring it further. The other reason was that everything there was written in Kannada, so I actually didn't know that it was a very historical temple. It was an ancient temple or it was kind of being renovated. While I went there, some renovations and work activities were taking place, but from what I gathered at that time was that it was kind of being built up. So I thought it was a new construction or something. But when I completed this ride and I went to Mumbai and I was like researching the places I went and all those things, I found out about this temple which I actually went to was like a renovation of a very historic and ancient temple. I should have stayed there. I should have explored more of that. But I think that would be for another day. In fact, one of the main reasons for my rides and tours are to go to such places where people are not visiting or less visited places. Not the kind of things like Jog Falls. Jog Falls is in fact very famous. A lot of people come here. A lot of people are supposed to come here because it is very well known place. Unlike the ancient temple where I went and nobody was there, so I couldn't even ask anybody about the place. And in this tour, I went to a lot of such places. I went to a lot of very small temples, very historic ancient temples, and one of them was near Madikeri. When I went there, there was nobody there, but it was clearly obvious to me that that was a very old temple and it was thought to be like about 500 years old. But there was nobody there, no tourists. One such temple is the Bettara Bhairaveshwara Devasthana. It is between Madikeri and Sakleshpura. When I went to that place, it was similar to this one. It was not renovated or anything. It was in its original shape or in its original form. It is not that old, but still it was obvious that it was kind of old. Anyway, the main thing was that when I went there, there was nobody there. And I went to similar small waterfalls and viewpoints on the road. So one of the ideas of this tour is to go to such places, unlike this one. Now this is the kind of entry to the Jog Falls. This is the Sharavati river. See clearly it is some rain has fallen and there is enough water in the river, but not just enough to make the Jog Falls at its mightiest. Anyway, when I reached Jog Falls, I was kind of surprised because I expected a lot of people. I expected a lot of crowd because that is what I found in other places, other well-known tourist places like in Madikeri. But here, I think it is because of the rains on this day. it was raining heavily. It was not stopping at any time. It was either raining heavily or drizzling all the time. So that is one reason why there was not many people over there at Jog Falls. Now this is the entry to Jog Falls. It is a huge infrastructure built by the Karnataka government, the tourism department. There is an entry fee. It is not much. It's like 30 rupees for the vehicle and myself. There is a lot of parking, a huge parking space. Then there is a restaurant and a hotel and other shops within this entire compound just meant for the tourists. Now, unlike other smaller waterfalls and even other well-known waterfalls, this place is actually a hill opposite the Jog Falls, or this is on top of a hill from where you can see Jog Falls, which is falling, or the water is falling from another hill opposite this hill. So we are kind of far away from the waterfall area itself. You're at least about 500 meters from the waterfall, and you're seeing this fall from a distance. So this is the parking area, and it is huge. It is for all kinds of vehicles. And this is the time when I had my second fall of this entire ride, because I forgot to put the bike on the stand and I just tilted it. And because of the lot of luggage on it, I had to call somebody to pick it up, pick myself up. Anyway, nothing much happened, and this is the actual thing, Jog Falls. From a distance, it's about 500 meters, as I said. It's quite far away. When I reached here, it was kind of afternoon, and maybe for that reason or because it was raining heavily, there are not many people here. It is a huge space and it is built for a lot of tourists, but only a handful, maybe around 100 people in total are here at this place to see the waterfall. And there is space for a lot of people, maybe like 500 or even 1000 people can come here at a time or on a single day to see the place. About the fall itself, this is not quite what I expected, because it has been raining for at least about 1 week in Karnataka, in the Western Ghats region. So I was expecting much more water to flow through it. Now this is the first time I'm visiting here, and I've seen a lot of pictures of the same kind of waterfall, but I've seen pictures of also a lot of water flowing through it. So I was kind of disappointed. Anyway, about the waterfall itself, I think it is kind of divided into 4 different falls, and not all of them are falling from the same altitude. There are different altitudes. Now I think when it rains heavily, or just immediately after the monsoon, or after a lot of rain has poured onto the catchment area, onto the Sharavati river, I think all these 4 different falls unify and merge to become a large waterfall, and that is the time when you should be visiting. So I came here on a day which was raining, but not enough rains, and I came here kind of early during the monsoon period, during the rainy season. So that was not the right time. Maybe I should come once more, maybe after the monsoon or something like that. Anyway, I didn't stay there for long. There's not much thing to do over there. You can have lunch or whatever, refreshments. There is hotels, restaurants and other shops over there. Apart from that, you can only see the waterfall from a distance. So you cannot have any other kind of activity like going near the fall or taking a bath or whatever. You can have your pictures and all that, and that's it. While the waterfall was kind of disappointing, I was quite surprised with the infrastructure at the place. So there is room for a lot of tourists to visit the place. There is enough space for people to see the waterfall from a distance without too much crowd or from a congested space. It is built on a hill, on top of a hill, so you can see it from a good distance, a safe distance. and that is what impressed me. The infrastructure is maintained very well. There's a lot of parking space and all amenities for the tourists. So that's about Jog Falls, and since it is the second largest waterfall, I think a lot of people come here, but there is a specific time to come here. If you come in summer season, I think there is going to be a lot less water through it. Now I am on this Western Ghats during this rainy season for a monsoon ride to enjoy the rains. But today's rain, and in fact for the last 1 week, the rain has been very heavy, and I was kind of getting bored or kind of stressed out with the rains. Always in the raincoat and cannot take the DSLR out. So just taking photos or videos with the GoPro was not the thing that I kind of expected or wanted. Even though one thing was that it was raining and you are to enjoy the monsoon season, the ride in the rain. So that is one thing, but there is a disadvantage to that you're always trying to cover yourself and cover all the other stuff on the bike. So there are advantages and disadvantages to a monsoon ride. And today's rain was incessant, it was not stopping at all. And so with all that, I changed my plan slightly. Anyway, I didn't have a plan in the first place. So I thought of going to a place which was not raining heavily, and so away from the Western Ghats. It is normal for the Western Ghats to get so much rain, but then I changed the direction. Now I am going in the eastern direction of Karnataka, and I'm planning to get to Hampi. So even while going there, I tried to find a route which was going through interior places or through the interiors and to take myself away from the highways or main roads. Now I have to get to Davanagere and from there to Hampi. So I took a route which was quiet, going through interior villages, very small villages but kind of very old, ancient areas where there are houses and temples and other structures built maybe long time ago, maybe about 100 years or within that period. So this is the route I took, and it was kind of congested, very narrow roads. So I took a long time to reach even Davanagere. From Jog Falls to Hampi, it is about 300 kilometers, and I planned to reach there on the same day itself, but I couldn't because of these kind of narrow roads. Now it was not always narrow roads as before. I went on to broader roads because I couldn't find any interior roads, or all those interior roads were going in different directions than the ones which I wanted. But for a small time at least, I went through very small and beautiful places, small villages with a lot of ancient structures, with a lot of old buildings, old temples, old houses. So on this day I didn't reach Hampi. I went up till Davanagere, I stayed the night there, and on the next day I continued my ride from Davanagere to Hampi. And even during that day, the next day, I'm taking smaller interior routes to go to visit some very ancient temples and small villages. Now I'm not going to prolong this video, so this is kind of the end of my ride. I'm reaching Davanagere. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, then press the like button and also try to share it with your friends. And also, if you would like to see similar videos, try to subscribe to my channel. The link to my next video, that is my ride from Davanagere to Hampi, is just about here, the one on the right side. Thank you.